So, this is a bit of an impromptu podcast. It's in response to the Gillette commercial, and I know a lot of people don't think it's a big deal. Some people might even think it's good. It's going to be a quick podcast because Teddy has to go take a leak or a shit or whatever. So what's wrong with this Gillette commercial? I'm sure you've seen the commercial where they're talking about toxic masculinity and is this the best a man can produce? And they actually show videos of past generations and in a claim that they're sexist, and it is fucking enraging. It's a claim that men don't moderate other men. When they ask, basically, or they're asking men to moderate other men or to keep other men in check with feminine behavior. Just talk about it. Just work out your problems. Don't fight. Don't be aggressive. Don't be masculine. This is a horrible narrative for our young boys because guess what? Young boys and young girls, old men, old women, everything in between, we are very different. Men and women are different. We need different things to make us feel alive, to make us successful. And in life, we all need to be successful. And men need to feel like men, and women need to feel like women. And this fucking retarded Gillette commercial is trying to say that the masculine is evil, that the masculine is bad, and that we have to move more into the feminine. And guess what's going to happen? The suicide rates are going to continue to rise. You're going to have weak, insidious men do terrible shit to women, and there aren't going to be enough masculine men to stop that shit. Because guess how masculine, or guess how men keep each other in check? It's through violence. If some kid is bullying some other kid, another kid is going to come along and beat the shit out of that bully if that kid who's getting bullied doesn't stand up for himself. And that kid who's getting bullied has to stand up for himself, or else he's going to get bullied throughout his life. He's going to get bullied in the workforce. He's going to get bullied by his wife. He's going to get bullied by everyone. He's going to be a pussy for his entire life if he doesn't stand up. And bullying sucks. Bullying isn't a strong preying on the weak. Bullying is a piece of shit preying on someone who is weak. Let's call it what it is. But that weakness has to turn into strength. Bullying is a way to moderate each other. That's how we find our role in society, and it's a great proving ground. I was bullied as a kid. Guess what you have to do? You have to stand up and fight. It's the only way that you're not going to be a bully for the rest of your life. And once you're a bully and you stand up and fight that bully, you are going to fight other boys' battles. And this Gillette commercial, along with other commercials, the Dollar Shave Club has a bunch of effeminate men in their advertising. It's ridiculous. It's like celebrating the purely masculine is bad. And the most enraging thing about that fucking stupid Gillette commercial is how they show past generations. The Greatest Generation is a good example. This audio is going to come out horrible. I can see it's just going to be... I'm as far back away from the mic as I possibly can, but I'm fucking pissed. But they show past generations as if they were lesser. As if they treated women bad. And man, it makes me want to just wring these motherfuckers by the neck, because if you look at my grandma and grandpa, if you look at them, the love they have for each other, man, they're in their 90s and they're holding hands. And my papa talks about my nana like he's still the love of his life. And guess what he did? He worked 3 jobs so she could stay at home and take care of the family. They had separate roles. One was masculine, one was feminine. What the fuck is wrong with that? And this commercial degrades how previous generations acted towards women. My goodness, they put women on a pedestal. They allowed women to be women. The ideal for a woman is to be feminine. It's to do what women can do that men can't do. It's not to grade yourself on a masculine paradigm. You're supposed to, motherhood is the ideal for the feminine. It's what they can do that men can't do. It's such a vital role in our society that is now being suppressed by by both the feminists and now these fucking retarded supposed to be masculine companies. Gillette is a shaving company. First of all, don't shave. Boycott Gillette by growing a fucking beard. But they degrade how past and previous generations talked or treated women. How they degraded women, thought of them as lesser. They did not think of women as lesser. My goodness. They struggled through the Great Depression. They did everything they could to provide for their family when the economy was at its lowest ever. They couldn't find work, so they did everything. They did whatever they could to protect and provide for their lady and their family. How is that putting down women? My fucking goodness. And then they went off to war. Thousands upon thousands of them died because we were attacked. Because our Western lifestyle was attacked. Because our values were attacked. And guess what? The women worked with the men. They were creating the bombs. They were creating the ammunition. They were creating the guns. They were creating the vehicles of war while the men were using them to kill the bad guys. And this fucking retarded, stupid, weak, piece of shit company has the audacity to say that these previous generations are archaic. We have to return to this. The answer isn't less masculinity, it's more. We don't have a masculinity problem, we have a lack of masculinity problem. Almost half of boys are raised by single mothers. That's not right. Boys need men leading them. If the dad dies, then the mom has to carry on. The mom has to do her best, of course. But man, if you're a fucking guy and you walk out on your family and you let a woman raise your son, what the hell? It's not a lack of masculinity. It's not too much mass. It's a lack of it that is wrong with our society. We have more dependence than ever. We have more weakness than ever. Men and boys keep other men in check through violence. If you want to make a boy depressed, if you want him to act out, stick him in a classroom, put him on his ass, and don't let him be masculine. Don't let him fight in the playground. Don't let him roughhouse. Don't let him play sports. Don't let him try to win in PE class. That's how you make depressed, fucking sedated, weak men. You stick them in a classroom and tell them to act like women. You tell them to act like... Classrooms are made for women. Classrooms in Roman times, we split up men and women. The men had combative classrooms. They ran through the streets in rags, practicing battle, practicing the virtues that would help them win in life. And now we're saying that being masculine is wrong. This is enough. This is enough. These companies, these governments, these social justice fucking idiots. Men and women are different. Men need to be men. Women need to be women. You're going to give your sons a shit ton of problems if they're not allowed to be men, if they're not allowed to fight each other, if they're not told that the way to stand up to a bully is to stand up to him and kick his ass. Again, bullying is wrong. Some kids use bullying. They use being bullied to learn what they're made of, to develop the skills in life to be men, to stand up for themselves. And then they become leaders. I know a lot of guys who were bullied when they were kids. And they used it. They fought back. And guess what? They stood up for bullies. They stood up for the bullied. I remember one time, I was bullied when I was a kid. And then I remember one time, two stories. No, one story. I remember one time, this let's say he's in grade 12. I was in grade maybe 8. And so these kids they'd pick up these younger kids and my age and throw them into bushes and just pummel them while they're in the bush. They didn't do it to me, but they took a weak kid and picked him up and threw him in the bush. And so as he was doing that, I picked up one of these fuckers and threw him in the bush and started punching him. He didn't know what to do. An eighth grader doesn't beat up a 12th grader. That doesn't happen. But he got a bloody nose. He was in so much shock that he realized, okay, I got to stop doing this. I got to stop pummeling these little kids. That's how boys regulate boys and keep boys in check. If I was going to go tell on him, or this other little kid told on him, that would mean we lost a chance to earn respect. And in this world, respect is everything. You need fucking respect. And you may think that, oh, this Gillette commercial, it's doing some good. It's trying to stop bullying, but it's going about it all wrong. It's trying to say that boys and girls aren't different. It's trying to say that men and women aren't different. It's trying to say that violence is always wrong, which it isn't. You gotta stand up for yourself and fight back, or else you're gonna be a victim your entire life. And it's very destructive. And these companies need to stop this bullshit. You gotta hurt them in the marketplace. And you gotta tell them to just fucking stop. This is getting out of control. Anyway, that's my response to that weak ass, stupid Gillette ad. And the Dollar Shaving Club, what the fuck? And all these other groups that are going after toxic masculinity. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There are good people and there are bad people. And you make masculinity the problem. Mwah. You make for those just listening, I just kissed my dog. If you make masculinity the problem, then you're not going to have guys who can stand up to bad people. You're not going to have strong, dangerous men who are also good. You're just going to have strong, dangerous men who are bad. And that's not good for men. That's not good for women. That's not good for boys or girls or whatever. So this bullshit has to stop. These stupid companies with they're peddling weakness. They're peddling masculinity. If you look at the history of masculinity, men and women have worked together forever. From the greatest generation in the 50s to the Romans to tribes, we've always worked together. Men play their role because we're bigger and stronger. We're more aggressive. We have a propensity for violence. We can kill animals better. We can defend our property better. Just is what it is. If you look at chimps fighting against other chimps, when their troops fight one another, the women will go to the end of their territory and then they will come back. And then the men will do the fighting. It's just because we're different. Men have testosterone, women don't. You know? Women, it doesn't make us better. It doesn't make men better than women or women better than men. We're both very different. In the marketplace, there's a big role for women now, especially. Because, you know, the physical jobs or whatever, they're trying to phase them out. But we still need them. We still need men. We still need masculine men. And if you look at the history of masculinity, men have always played their role. In the Roman times, it was excellence in all things. You got to let men be excellent in all things, including being violent. They need that capacity so they can defend their homes. They can protect their people, protect their tribes, protect their families. And you need to let boys roughhouse. That's what makes boys feel alive. That's what makes boys feel like boys. You sit them in a classroom, they're gonna get freaking depressed. You're gonna put them on medication because they're gonna be acting out. You gotta let them roughhouse. You gotta let them beat the shit out of each other. You gotta let them learn how to stand up to bullies, fight back, or you're ripping their own personal development away from them. If you don't let them do this shit, you're basically setting them up to be victims, to be pussies, to be cowards, to be bullied their entire lives. Stop this nonsense. Alright, I gotta take Teddy out. If you're watching somebody, you'll see why. Alright, fellas, get after it and stand up to this bullshit. This is enough.